What if God intends us to have a son? Another way, maybe surrogacy.
I will not outsource gratitude or negotiate with destiny as though God made a mistake.
I won't tell her the truth to protect my peace, my family, my reputation.
They say secrets protect peace, but some secrets don't protect peace. They destroy it. Daniel Ezokafo believed silence would save his home. He never imagined it would cost him everything. In the ancient quarters of Umolisa lived Daniel Ezokafo, a man of old, patient wealth, businesses built with foresight, and a reputation untouched by corruption. He had two daughters, Olivia and Sophia, whom he raised with tenderness and principle. A man who raises daughters well has raised the future twice. Daniel believed wealth was not gendered. His home reflected balance, dignity, and calm. His wife, Gloria, was elegant, loyal, and emotionally strong. Yet, after medical complications ended her childbearing years, she carried a quiet grief, shaped not by Daniel, but by society's obsession with sons. She suggested surrogacy. Daniel refused gently but firmly. I will not outsource gratitude. I will not negotiate with destiny as though God made a mistake. What Gloria didn't know was that his refusal hid a secret older than their marriage. Now, wow, conviction loses its purity when it is used to hide the truth. Weeks later, Daniel's mother arrived unannounced with a young boy named Ikenna. She introduced him as a nephew. Gloria welcomed the child without hesitation. A home with space for love should never deny it. From that day, she raised Ikenna as her own, without rivalry, without suspicion, without knowledge. The children grew as siblings. Parenthood is proven by care, not by blood. Years passed. Illness arrived without respect for wealth. Fatigue, weight loss, fever. The diagnosis came cold and final. End stage kidney failure. A transplant was urgent. Relatives refused. Wealth failed. Then, Gloria's result arrived. A perfect match. She offered her kidney without hesitation. This is only another way of sharing life, she said. Daniel wept, unaware that heaven had already begun judging his silence. That evening, Gloria went home to pack clothes. In Daniel's dressing room, a brown envelope slipped to the floor. Inside, a will. Her breath stopped. 80% of Dana's property was assigned to Ikenna. Then another document fell out, a birth record, an affidavit. The truth struck like lightning. Ikenna was not his nephew. He was Dana's biological son. Now, wow, things they happen. The woman she was told was a widow, was a hidden second wife. Dana's mother had protected the secret, and Dana has chosen silence over honesty. The years rearranged themselves brutally in her mind. So this is why, she whispered brokenly, the refusal of surrogacy, the resistance of medical intervention, the unyielding calm whenever she spoke of sons. It had never been conviction alone. It had been fear of exposure. Gloria sank on the edge of the bed, sobbing for betrayal, for the trust she had offered without reservation, for the love she had given without condition, for the motherhood she had practiced in truth, unaware it had been built on deception. I had been honest in a house of secrets. So this was the final accounting of my worth, not the years of loyalty. Only 20%, as though love were a debt to be settled rather than a covenant to be honored. And Ikenna had been positioned as inheritance, not responsibility, and stood as living evidence of years of calculated silence. This is restitution, she thought bitterly. A woman repaid for devotion with percentages. She realized that sacrifice loses its sanity when it is is demanded by deception. She would no longer donate her kidney out of self-preservation. Secrets do not disappear. They only wait for the worst moment to speak. The next morning, she called Daniel gently. I need rest before surgery. I will return in few days before the operation. Gloria acted quietly and decisively. She called Daniel's account manager and gave clear instructions. Accounts were assessed. Funds were released. She liquidated properties, sold assets, gathered what dignity allowed. She left with her daughters, not in anger, but in self-preservation. 2 days before surgery, Daniel called. She answered calmly. Call Ikenna's mother. Let her donate the kidney. Before Daniel could protest, persuade, or defend himself, she ended the call. I am finished, Daniel murmured. She knows everything about Ikenna. Daniel had not yet gathered himself when another call from the bank arrived. The property he had used as collateral for a substantial loan had been sealed. The call ended, leaving him with the truth he had delayed too long. Wealth vanished. Influence collapsed in a single morning. Daniel returned to the village with nothing. Ikenna's mother chose comfort over responsibility and left with another man. Each morning, Daniel was pushed in a wheelbarrow to the roadside. His mother begging for help. Daniel watched the daily ritual with a heart that could no longer find words. Guilt became his companion and regret became his shadow. Meanwhile, Ikenna drifted without guidance, structure, and a home anchored in truth. He found belonging in the streets. Gangs offered protection, identity, and rules that made sense to the boys who had learned early that silence was the family language. When families fail to raise children with truth and care, the streets volunteer without mercy. Daniel lost his health, wealth, family, and legacy because he hid the truth. What you refuse to talk about today may become what tears you apart tomorrow. Secrets don't die, they wait. If this story touched you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional African stories of betrayal, regret, and hidden truths. Thanks for watching.